Dear community, sometimes words can't do justice to what a person feels. I will end by saying that I have a sense of melancholic hope. Why the melancholy? Because it took coming to prison for me to discover the man I could be, to heal, to be heard, and to help others along the same path. Dear community, I'm angry. Angry for the trauma that was inflicted on me as a child. Angry that no one really knows about it. Angry that I still don't have the courage to name and share it. Angry that it turned me into what I can only describe as a zombie. A zombie that only reacted to the situations happening in the moment without thinking them through, mindlessly bouncing from one crisis to the next, inflicting trauma and hurting the people around me in the process. I'm angry that I put myself in prison. That describes the first 29 years of my life in a nutshell. I want to make something perfectly clear, though. I had a loving family, support, and most of all, chance after chance to turn it all around. But I just didn't have the emotional mental intelligence to do it at the time. Most of all, community, I'm angry that you threw me away with a life sentence, effectively saying that my life wasn't worth saving, understanding, or healing. I'm angry that I believed you. At least I did at the time. But I'm here to say that you and I were both wrong. It is through Leaders of Tomorrow Justice Impacted and Author of My Life training that I've had this realization. Dear community, I am conflicted. Conflicted because I'm not sure which community I should address this letter to. The one that sentences people to life and death in prison? The community that is fighting for more humane, rehabilitative, or restorative justice practices? Or am I addressing my new community of incarcerated men and women who are just as angry, confused, and lost, but searching for healing, forgiveness, and self-worth as I am? So I guess I will just write and let these words fall on the ears of those who want to listen. I would like to put my past aside and only concentrate on the man I am now and what I am striving to achieve in the future. But that wouldn't be completely honest to you or to me, nor practical. The most impactful thing I learned from Leaders of Tomorrow is about adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, and how trauma is stored in the body and rewires the brain. This motivated me to dive deeper into the subject, reading and studying it on my own to better understand my own trauma. But more importantly, Leaders of Tomorrow gave me an attitude that I can only describe as, so what? What are you personally going to do about it? What's next? If Leaders of Tomorrow is a weekend boot camp of personal self-discovery and improvement, then Author of My Life is Navy SEAL training. The amount of deep dive psychology, self-assessment, and personal accountability is frankly daunting. And I wouldn't change a thing. They say ignorance is bliss, and I truly believe that, but I could not go back to being my former zombie self. I cannot unlearn, or more accurately, ungrow my emotional shift, my intellectual knowledge, my becoming a more whole, healthy, and balanced man. Dear community, sometimes words can't do justice to what a person feels. I will end by saying that I have a sense of melancholic hope. Why the melancholy? Because it took coming to prison for me to discover the man I could be, to heal, to be heard, and to help others along the same path. I am confident and hopeful that I can think, speak, and act with a new sense of purpose and influence the community around me in a more positive way for the rest of my life. But here's what I need you to understand. I am not unique. Behind these walls are hundreds of men and women with similar stories, people who were broken, who made terrible choices, but who are capable of the same transformation. The question isn't whether we deserve a second chance. The question is whether our community is wise enough to invest in the kind of programs that can turn trauma into healing, anger into purpose, and liability into asset. You have a choice to make. You can continue to throw people like me away at a cost of $40,000 per year per person with a 72% chance we'll be back. Or you can invest in programs like Leaders of Tomorrow and Author of My Life. You can choose rehabilitation over retribution. You can choose to build a system that creates contributing members of society instead of warehousing human potential. The return on that investment isn't just measured in recidivism rates or taxpayer savings. It's measured in families reunited, victims who see genuine accountability, and communities made whole. I was your liability for 29 years. With the right investment, I can be your asset for the next 40. South Dakota has a once-in-a-generation opportunity, not just to build new structures, but to build new systems of support, belief, and human dignity. We say we want to be best in class. This is where it starts, not with concrete and policy alone, but by investing in people who have never been truly seen. If we're going to lead, let it be with courage, with commitment, and with compassion that shows up. So let's lead boldly together. Together, we can rewrite what's possible.